33-story hotel and condo project?
I'd probably be
Okay,
like
like
that.
stop, tap.
This is a plan by the community for the community.
This one here. Show me.
No problem, Ken. Thanks for having me.
It's Kent Molgat for Kelowna Now. And we're joined by Raymond Kohler, the spokesperson of Senior Gay Men in Kelowna. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
And it's timely because we've got Pride Week coming up.
Yes.
And I was interested in talking to you about the specific issues facing senior gay men. Men who grew up in a different era that was less accepting than the current era. And from our earlier conversation, it sounds like a lot of the pain that they suffered in those years is still with them, and there's some struggles.
There certainly are, and one of the issues is that if you were born in the 1940s or 1950s, you were born in Canada as a criminal, and so if you were going to come out to your family as something uniquely gifted, like lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, queer and questioning, intersect, any of those interesting choices, you were not only saying that you were different, but you were saying you were a criminal. And up until 1977, according to the medical profession, you were also mentally ill. So
It was actually categorized
it
as
was
a mental illness.
That's right.
Not just a deviation, but
No, it was
illness.
a mental illness up until 1977, when the doctors have a little book that tells them who's really
Okay,
sick.
not that there's anything bad about having a mental illness, but still, it doesn't fit.
Correct. We don't consider being uniquely gifted
Right.
in any respect as being a disability. It's just
Okay,
some folks are
right.
right-handed, some folks are left-handed.
So we've gotten over those things, but it's still with the people of your generation.
Yeah, it's that whole field of study right now is referred to as childhood trauma. So most of our folks have lived through that. Some have found ways of dealing with it. In some cases, what with the AIDS pandemic and issues like that, it's gotten worse. And so we find folks who are now in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who are still deeply traumatized by a life experience which has resulted from stigma. And from childhood trauma, it leads to stress, anxiety, depression. Depression can lead to suicide, and in fact it was the spike in senior gay men's suicide that caused the British Columbia Department of Health to institute a senior gay men's program across the province.
This was actually a top-down thing. It's like, we've got a problem.
That's right.
In other words, if for anyone's thinking that these, we all got issues, oh, come on, get over it. This was a serious issue. You had a real spike of people who are ending their lives because of these issues.
That's right, and the Provincial Department of Health recognized that, brought together their chief medical advisors from each of the health regions, and they launched this program called Senior Gay Men in Fill in Your Community.
Right.
Senior Gay Men in Kelowna is one of the few groups that's still growing and thriving, and building on that positive initiative.
Okay, so you set up this initiative, you got this group, but what do you actually do to reach out to these people who might feel so alone dealing with all these issues?
Okay, so what we offer is we offer information, which is basically, hey folks, the world has changed in the last 40, 50 years, and we know that you've had some tough times, and we invite you to try getting back in the water and swimming again,
Right.
because in fact you may find that things are different than when you first encountered
Yeah.
problems in society.
So I want to share with you my sort of experience. When I worked at the local TV station here, I seemed to always be the one that did an interview with someone if they were a homosexual or a gay person who was dealing with some kind of discrimination. So I'd go out there and interview them. But for so many of those years, their identity had to be disguised. There
Yes.
wasn't a single person in the Okanagan who would be able to say, yeah, I'm gay. And these are the problems I'm suffering. They had to say, yeah, I've got this problem, but you can't know my name. And then, so we've seen that change.
Yes. Well,
But
I'm here.
you are. But for people, some people your age,
Yes,
they're still living like it was before.
that's right.
And with their contacts, they're not upfront. They don't feel that they can be out or to share their real selves with even the people close to them.
That's right. So sometimes even they it could be a man who's married to a woman, and she doesn't know that he's gay. Children are raised not knowing that their father is gay or that their grandfather is gay. We have stories about the gay uncle in many families, but some young folks don't understand that their parents were actually gay too.
Is it okay for some people to just choose that to keep their life as that part of their life as a sort of a secret, or do you think that it's necessarily the healthier choice to open up your real self to the world?
Well, I think everybody's different, and everybody. One of the things I like to say to people is you're the expert on you. You know, all we can do is share our experience. I can share my experience and offer support and encouragement. What we try to offer through our organization is information, and we try to offer some appropriate social contact so that people feel more comfortable accessing their community, because we think that's very important.
Have you seen it happen? Have you seen people who've reached out to you?
Absolutely.
Tell me what that's like when somebody says, "Okay, Raymond, here I am, and I'm gonna wave a pride flag and be open."
And for me, that's a good thing. You know, maybe for their supposedly straight children, it could be disturbing, and I understand that, and everyone's different, and everyone's the expert on their own lives. But we have been told by Interior Health that they can identify the number of suicides that they feel that we've had an intervention on, and it's become considerable.
In other words, you've reduced the suicide
That's
rate?
right. The suicide rate for senior gay men in the Interior Health region has gone down as a result of what we're doing.
But an individual who sort of reaches out to you and sort of decides to sort of come out, so to speak, is it generally, do you see that having a positive effect on their mental well-being?
I would say for most people that find the courage to come and actually meet with us and find out that they're not alone. That's the critical piece, is that you are not alone. There's other folks who are sharing your experience. For most of those folks, it's a affirming process.
It must be really something for someone to have, let's say they're like in their 70s now, and their whole life it's been a secret.
Yes.
For it suddenly to be not a secret, that must be really something.
It's enormously stressful, and some of these folks are enormously brave, I think, to come forward. But the thing we try to let them know is that it's okay. The world has changed. You're not alone, and it's a much safer world now. And in our print brochure, we have a list of almost 25, 30 organizations locally here in Kelowna that have affirmed with us that they are accepting of diversity and would welcome anyone
Okay,
to get
so
involved.
Pride Week starts on the 11th.
It
goes
does.
Leads up to the parade on the 18th. Is this a good week for someone who's been keeping too many secrets for too long to make a change?
I think it's wonderful. It reminds me of the week in 2013 when then Mayor Walter Gray and his council flew the Pride flag over City Hall. Having a big Pride festival down by the lake in Waterfront Park is similar to that in that it gives visibility to folks that maybe in the past were hiding in the bushes and thinking they were alone, to see that, oh my goodness, there's 5,000 people have come out.
Is a Pride Festival a good time to do that?
Well, I think it's a great time to do that because everyone is there, and so if I'm a gay guy, I can go to the Pride Festival and not worry if my employer or my family or someone sees me there, because
Right.
everybody's there. You know, it's wonderful.
Yeah, terrific. It was really great talking to you, Raymond. Thanks for coming in. And,
Thanks so much
And let's
for-
hope that some senior men who might
We're-
be gay are watching this.
We're on the web, Senior Gay Men in Kelowna .tk. It's free. We like to do things for free. Is on the web, and on Facebook, we're Senior Gay Men in Kelowna.
Terrific. Thanks, Raymond.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Kelowna Now.